So, my 18 mom has been charging me market rate rent since I started working at 16 and I was left with travel money and just about had food money left. I got a pay raise recently, earning pretty much double what I was previously, and she tried to up my rent even further, $1,200 a month. When I refused, she kicked me out. This was the end of July and I'm just now kind of back on my feet. Recently, I moved into an apartment and my rent is quite high, and because it was furnished, I have a slight bit of wiggle room to start buying the essentials. I've started with stuff I just need. I still haven't gotten around to buying real plates or cutlery because I haven't been able to, so I've been eating off plastic. I also have one light bulb and I just take it from room to room. So my mom asked if she could come over and talk yesterday and I agreed to it. She came over and the first thing she did was complain about how bare and dark it was. It was bright when she first came, so I was using the natural light. She eventually decided to order us food, and when it came she asked where the forks were. She got them and got really angry that they were plastic. She went off at me, saying I can't afford this place since it's like I'm living in a cave and that I should find something cheaper. I told her if she wasn't charging me more than what I'm paying here, I would have savings that didn't all go on an emergency deposit, and maybe then I'd have light bulbs and stainless steel forks. She thinks I'm being an idiot for backchatting. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and let me go ahead and say something your abusive mother never will. I am so proud of you. You are building your future one light bulb at a time and not complaining one bit. You got out of a bad situation and are working to be financially stable. Those are all big accomplishments and you are amazing for them. I suggest that you start limiting contact with your mom. It doesn't seem like she is a positive influence on your life, and I think you would be happier and free to grow more confidence if she wasn't around to put you down. She was abusive in charging you to live with your parent as a minor, and the way she treats you isn't okay. I hope you realize that and make the best choices for your mental health. Not the idiot. First, she kicked you out after trying to overcharge you. I'm okay with parents charging rent. I think it's an excellent way to help teach teens about budgeting. However, I don't think it's necessary to do market rate with your teen. That said, it's definitely not okay to charge more than market rate. You can't do that to a stranger renter. Why on earth would someone do that to family? Second, she came over to your place and criticized. I'm always against criticizing another's hospitality. You were exactly right to point out that you could afford that place better than what she would charge you. I'd go no contact if I were you. She clearly cares more about money and material things than her own child. You are a wonderfully accomplished person and you deserve the thrill of buying every little thing, of enjoying every little improvement you conquer. A good mother would not only have charged you, but would have cheered you for your independence and gifted you with a kitchen set, even if it was a cheap one. Other family members, if you have a good relationship, and neighbors and friends, would also be glad to gift you containers, strains, can openers, a coffee mug, the kind of small thing that costs almost nothing for them, but makes your kitchen functional. Or a lamp. Maybe a post like, I am setting up my first adult home, and if you have any spare kitchen or cleaning objects looking for a new home, I would love to have them, might help. This a minor conflict that me, 31, and my boyfriend, 33, had this week. We've been together for 9 months. He's a pediatrician and I have a job at an elementary school. He's sweet and makes me feel happy whenever we're together. He was missing me lately and been wanting me to visit, and he was too busy, so I only got the chance to visit yesterday. We sat down in the living room in his apartment and he was about to make some coffee when the door rang 13 minutes after I arrived. He went to take a look through the hole, then returned and asked me to get up and follow him to the kitchen. I asked why, but he didn't say. He had me enter the kitchen and said his 2 friends who are his work colleagues, doctors, came to visit and he wanted me to sit tight for a few minutes till they leave. I was confused. I asked why not let me just meet them, and he said no, not like this, and asked me to not come out the kitchen till they leave, then went to welcome them. I sat still waiting as the time passed. They stayed for an hour and I started calling Donnie, but he didn't answer me. I felt uncomfortable and couldn't wait anymore after I was ignored like that. I just took my purse and walked out the kitchen and told Donnie that I got bored of waiting for his friends to leave, then said I was leaving and walked through the door immediately feeling upset. He was stunned and so were his friends. He called me later, saying what I did was disrespectful and rude. He said he asked me this one favor and I didn't do it. I replied that I left because of the treatment I received. No matter how much he tells me to make myself at home, I was still a guest and I was made to feel like I was less than his doctor friends, but he swore it wasn't like that and that he considers himself lucky to have known me, but still said what I did was not cool and leaving like that and saying what I said in front of his friends was wrong of me. I am baffled and cannot imagine why he didn't want you to meet his friends like this. What precisely was the issue? Why was he so insistent that they not know you exist or meet them like this? Whatever that means. That sounds very sketchy to me. On top of that, why did he make you wait for an hour in a boring kitchen on one of the rare few occasions you could visit? It sounds like he didn't miss you at all. If they were coming over and he didn't want them to meet you, then why did he invite you over? Disrespectful is hiding your partner away from your friends. If he's so lucky to know you, why is he not letting his friends know you too? Not the idiot. This behavior is ridiculous. Technically it could have been longer than an hour since you chose to leave and his friends were still there when you left at the hour mark. That was an idiot move on his part, especially since you've been dating for almost a year. Seems weird to me and definitely messed up. What did he mean not like this? That doesn't make any sense. He should have told them he had company and sent them on their way. I'd reevaluate the relationship because that seems pretty suspicious to me. Not the idiot. I have no idea what he was thinking by hiding you from his doctor friends, but he missed the mark because he made you feel unwanted and less than, and now his doctor friends get to wonder about why there was someone else in the apartment without them knowing. Maybe he came up with a good story, but I bet it still looked weird to them. Maybe he's insecure around other doctors. I don't know, it's still weird behavior. I would put him on notice, and I wouldn't let him make me feel bad for leaving. Hiding you in the kitchen instead of introducing you was disrespectful, and don't let him talk you into thinking it wasn't. My stepsister is having a hard time right now. Her biological mom passed away 2 years ago, and her grades dropped. She didn't get into her dream college. She is still sad about it, but she got into a good college. She didn't have a great relationship with her mother and is super close to my mom. She is going to therapy. My uncle visited last week. He is an idiot who liked to tease people. My mom's side of the family is full of really successful people, and some of them do look down on my stepsister because her mom doesn't come from wealthy background. Anyway, he teased her about her college and she didn't react too well. My mom didn't say anything, and then this idiot had the audacity to tell my mom that she did as good a job as she could with my stepsister, and there is only so much she could do with people who just didn't have the right background. I could literally see my sister wither when he said that. I snarked back about his son who dropped out of college, and things devolved into an argument between me and my uncle. I know I did the right thing here, especially because it made my sister cry and she shut herself back into her room again. About 3 days ago, Mom said I dealt with situation poorly and I should have taken it like a joke and ignored it. She also told me that I shouldn't start an argument with my family like that, and she hated that I did it. This really pissed me off. She always takes their side whenever they provoke and mock us. She has never stood up for us properly. I told her that she knew it wasn't a joke and everyone knew it was not, and by not sticking up for her daughter who has a nasty bout of depression, she is being a pathetic excuse of a mom right now. I know I shouldn't have said that. I was going too far and I feel like I really hurt her, but crap like this have happened before. She lets her siblings kick us when we are down, and it hurt, and I feel like I'm doing that same thing right now, kicking mom when she is down. I feel like a huge idiot. Not the idiot. While lashing out at your mother in the heat of the moment may have not been the best of calls, giving her a reality check about how to best support her children, step or not, was needed. You previously mentioned how she's never come to Yal's aid once when being ridiculed by family members and tends to just let it slide. That is exactly what a poor excuse of a mother would do. I think you're great OP, and I bet your stepsister thinks you're great too. Your stepsister now knows that you're not afraid to come to her aid and defend her, and that you're there to support her, even if just when people are talking about her. Keep doing what you're doing, and screw the people who are trying to bring you down. You are showing what it's like to have boundaries and values that you stick to. Your mom had to grow up and cope with cruel siblings who excused their bullying by saying I was joking, which is obvious and pathetic. Try to have a calm conversation with your mom where you can apologize, but also tell her that you have boundaries and standards that you will enforce. I feel this is the difference in your generation and mine, Generation X. We went along with everything because we were told that's just the way it is. Your generation is saying no, that's not the way it has to be. We can be kinder, safer, more considerate. You can patch this up by having a calm, loving conversation with your mom, but explain that you see the world differently and will stick to your principles. I think you said what you needed to say, and you only feel bad now because you know the truth did hurt your mom. But she was trying to lecture you into behaving as she did, in a way you clearly don't respect. I think communicating your rejection of that ideal was good and necessary. I think it's wholesome that you feel bad about it now, and I really think you should not let yourself feel bad unless you think you were not being truthful in your criticism of your mom. Only you know for sure whether or not you went too far or as far as needed so that your mom gets that you have that point of view and she needs to think about that the next time she's letting one of her siblings bully you or your stepsister. My 37 boyfriend just moved in with me, 24. Things have been going okay aside from the occasional bickering. He has a ton of clothes. When he moved everything in with garbage bags and laundry baskets. The last 2 weeks or so I had spent hours doing his laundry, folding, hanging stuff up. I just can't keep up. There's too much, and it's too unorganized. I have one washer and one dryer. He will leave clothes in the dryer for days, not sure if he expects me to fold them, or what. Well, I had to wash my clothes. They had been in the wash maybe 15 hours, and clothes get a weird smell if they sit too long. I worked during the day, so I didn't really have time to fold my boyfriend's laundry. I just moved the clothes from the dryer to the bed so I could put my clothes in the dryer. He lost it on me and said you can't fold clothes when they're cold, as in not fresh out of the dryer, and that I wasn't doing him any favors moving it and that he'd never do that to me. Basically said he would have to rewash everything, not sure why. Well, of course he'd never do that to me because I remove my clothes once they're done, but that's beside the point. Am I the idiot for taking his clothes out of the dryer and not folding them? I feel like I might be. On the other hand, I work full-time and do most of the cleaning and cooking, and I feel it's not fair he just expected me to fold all his clothes or just wait however many days it would take him to do it before doing my own laundry. Not the idiot. Stop doing his laundry at all. Make a clear boundary with him right now that you won't do it and won't fold it. He will push you until you cave. He will do it wrong until you cave. He will leave the clothes in there for days until you cave. Don't cave. If he leaves it in the washer, put it on the floor or hamper. Do the same if he leaves it in the dryer. Only move it if you need to wash your clothes though. Again, he will do it wrong just so you do it. If you cave, this is how it will be for any trivial thing. Also, it's not trivial. You work, do most of the housework, and have your own laundry to do too. He can do his laundry. He's 37. It's not your job to fold his clothes. He washed them and 15 hours is too long to leave them in there. If he wanted to fold them warm, I admit they fold better warm, then as soon as they are done he should fold them. I was confused on the rewashing thing, but wondered if he left the clothes in the washing machine. If you wash clothes and leave them in the washing machine for 15 hours they will smell moldy sitting there wet, but I don't think you would put them on the bed wet. You need to let him know you didn't move in with him to become his maid. He needs to take care of his responsibilities himself. You are not wrong at all. Tell him if he wants them folded whilst hot, he can do it. I assume his arms aren't painted on. He can also, and this makes folding them when cold work well, go buy an iron and use it. If he wants to hog the washer and dryer then he better take his clothes out and fold them, or he can ask his mother to do it for him. You are doing yours, and in the future after you've both settled and you can both do the washing, etc. But to have to wash all of his clothes just because he moved in is on him, not you. My dad is married to Emma. Emma has a son Noah 7 and a daughter Lauren 5. Emma and my dad have told the kids my dad is their dad, which isn't true biologically. Emma was married before. Her first husband and her were going through a divorce when he died, and because Noah and Lauren were young enough to not remember him, and she met my dad so soon after, they decided they never need to know the truth about their bio dad. She went as far as to move to a state where grandparents' rights are near impossible to get because she doesn't want his family involved either, and not because they are terrible people, but because her first husband was a mistake and she doesn't want her kids growing up to have any kind of love or wish for a man she regrets being with. So, my dad adopted them and they have been creating all these stories, like how old photos of their early babyhood got destroyed and no copies are around, and how my dad was there for all their births. It's weird as hell, and I noped out and asked to live with my mom, who fought for that when crap went down. Problem is the kids think I'm their half-sister and I refuse to lie, so I'm not around them. I also don't see my dad often. He'll often tell me I should babysit and hang out with them and act like a regular member of the family, no lie needed. I said hell no. But I am not getting into some complicated lie, and I am not going to act like I held them when they were born and loved them from the time I heard Emma was pregnant with them, something they have been told by Emma and my dad. My dad's family all go along with it. I won't. It is also meant in emergencies I have let them just figure it out. Sometimes Emma has missed work or crap has fallen apart because I wouldn't step in when I'm not in school or when I was remote learning. I know the kids are confused about my absence, but I am not touching it with a barge pole. So here's the deal. My dad and Emma are going to a wedding Saturday. He asked me to babysit weeks ago, and I said no. My grandma told me the kids always ask for me and want me as the babysitter, not them, and I should do it because even if we don't share blood, they are legally my siblings now and I should be involved. I told them it's not going to happen. My dad then called and yelled at me for saying no because when he had to tell the kids they cried and asked why I didn't want to babysit them, and how the hell is he supposed to answer? Am I the idiot? It's one thing to have them call him dad and he adopt them in this situation, but cutting off the old family and making up lies about the past isn't cool. They are pretty likely to find out eventually and will resent everyone who is partaking in this charade. I don't know what to tell you on how to handle it, but not the idiot to be avoiding it. I am sad for the kids, but I don't blame you at all for not wanting to be part of it. Can you potentially just change the subject if they ask about things you would need to lie for? Not the idiot for 3 big reasons. A. You're not obligated to babysit for anyone, no matter who they are. If they get in a tight situation they should figure it out. B. You're not obligated to keep a lie they've told. They're making a big mess for themselves in the future. C. If those kids ever have medical issues and use your dad's family history for any medical reasons, this could severely affect their treatments and their diagnoses. I know this personally from my own mother being unable to access her father's side of the family's history due to my grandmother withholding their contact details. I genuinely feel that you have handled this with incredible maturity by distancing yourself from the situation. It's absolutely disgusting that they are spinning this web of lies just because she regrets who their biological father is. Those children will without a doubt resent them for this later in life. I also find it appalling that they are behaving as if the only family that counts is blood relatives. My life has been blessed with a large biological family. I have many blood relatives that I love immensely, but I also have had the great joy of loving the family I chose and gained through life's experiences. Stick to your beliefs and your boundaries. Good luck.